Gonna have to take those lines though. Could have went with a T-spin there. I'm unsure. I'm unsure why that. I don't know. But yeah, Dark Shadow's looking at a strong position, able to get down from the spine, but Persimmon's in a slightly better position than Dark Shadow is. Dark Shadow just needs to find the right garbage pieces to get down. Persimmon's not sending nearly as much clean as they were earlier. It was fine in that respect. And now Dark Shadow is looking solid here. There it is. That's a strong spike. That's what Dark Shadow wants to see. It's gonna have... That's not a very good donation. If there was just a T there would have been a lot better. That's gonna let Persimmon now be up 6-4. And has a good, strong chance against Dark Shadow here. Let's see. Oh, Dark Shadow with that misdrop. That's gonna be not good, and you don't want to see that when you're when it's match point against yourself. And that's gonna be game. Persimmon taking 7-4 Dark Shadow, but Dark Shadow not out yet. That was winners finals, so Dark Shadow's moving on to losers finals, while Persimmon will be in grand finals. And yeah, that's a 7-4 match in favor of Persimmon. So now that means just 3 matches left for this TAWS U. We got Booyah versus Overshadow, winner of that against Dark Shadow, and then winner of that against Persimmon. I gotta say, I am looking forward to this. This is gonna... all these matches coming up still are gonna be great. We'll see. What do we have next? We've got gotta ping the next. Oh, they're already pinged. Okay, we've got Overshadow versus Booyah. And I think there's going to be a little bit of a speed contrast here. Now, Booyah obviously has shown that they're well capable of being here, and with that, it's not going to be a crazy... You're not going to see a one-sided match. You're never going to see a one-sided match in top 3 or top 4, this is. Yeah, we'll see. I think we're just waiting for Boo now. Yeah, looking at both of their runs to get here, Overshadow, won twice, 7-0 against, 16 seed, then 9 seed to make it here. Did they just both leave the lobby at the same time? Uh-oh. Yeah, Overshadow won twice, 7-0, and then lost in tiebreaker, then won in tiebreaker. Okay, are both here now? So we'll be seeing if they want to warm up. Yeah, probably does. It's been a while since they played. Overshadow does too. Waiting on a confirmation that Booyah is ready. And then we'll be getting into warm-up. Like I said, just 3 matches left. Coming into the close of this TAWS U. Yeah, I'm getting close to a PC there. Overshadow now has made a bit of a mess of their board. Spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to best resolve it, but getting a T-spin down in the resolve. Like you're killing their chance for a T-spin there. Resorting to doubles and triples to bring the stack down. Which don't even send... Which send a near negligible level of lines here. I remember being back in like a minus range where the lines you send from a triple actually do sometimes matter. Here, the lines you send from a triple don't tend to matter very much. As I even like sometimes forget that triples send lines. Overshadow stacking up with T-spin. Great down stack, 13 spike. Getting that in a hard position now with Nobia with a double quad, able to start building back to back, but having to cancel their back to back. We got building up some back to backs here, but not ever strong enough to make it so that they're in too strong of a commanding lead. I said there might be a speed difference. Looks like not too much. Overshadow's playing at the same speed that Booyah is here. Overshadow's just not going to find the down stack. I think it existed, but not finding it against Booyah, and that's going to be warm-up. Booyah taking warm, but this is the 1 seed. Again, Overshadow's the 1 seed here, playing against Booyah, the 12. So it could get interesting here. Overshadow leaving the room. They had disconnected earlier, I don't know. Okay, they're back here. might have had to go like fix a room setting or something. And make sure that they are ready before we get started. Yep, they are, and let's get this thing started. And we got a first to 7. This is gonna be good. I'm excited. But yeah, just kind of chilling. While Overshadow sends a open that's gonna be. Overshadow is cranking out pieces. Overshadow beat back-to-back times 5. Able to set themselves up for 6 there, but Booyah is going to be the one who overspikes here, ending with 100 APM. Considering that Booyah had the brief minute of pause at the beginning, that 100 APM becomes even more impressive. And Booyah holding off on that, because Overshadow getting a 21 spike, that's really good awareness from Booyah that... Hold on, my opponent's about to get a 21. Let's not give them any extra garbage to use for it. Let's instead cancel a little bit of that. But now with Booyah just sending line after line here, or Overshadow sending line after line here, Booyah is not going to have enough. I think I am getting them mixed up because they were on the other side the other match or something. I don't know why I'm doing that. But here we are, tied at 1 each. Overshadow overstack on the side there. Having strong gameplay though here. It's just, and Overshadow is really just speeding through a lot of things. Oh, that's a brilliant STSD. I would never have seen that. But I think Overshadows has too much garbage here. With that hold, is going to get stuck putting that piece over the ceiling. It wouldn't have had to do that without holding there. Well, fine, but I'm going to do that, and that puts Booyah in a 2-1 lead. Both of them running TK... No, that's not TKI. Oh, Overshadow's downstack here is really strong. Oh, and that's a strong spike. that's gonna top Booyah out. It's already gonna be tied 2-2. These rounds have been pretty quick. Now I will say, if any of these two are the ones who make it to grand finals, that could get pretty tiring for them, considering that they have to play now their first to 7, then they have to do it again, and then they're going for a first to 11 in grands. So tired out is a factor, and if you make it to top 8 on winner's side, you have a lot less matches than somebody who makes it in through like losers top 6, like Booyah came through, had won their loser top 8, didn't have to play loser top 6. And the Overshadows came in with winner semis, lost that to put them to losers top 6, and then had to play that. So they're at a lot more matches. You have to play a lot more matches if you make it to loser side than somebody who just makes it in through winners. It's every match or every round that earlier that you get put into losers bracket is a whole extra match you have to play per round versus somebody who's doing it in the winners bracket. I think it's in TAWS U8. I remember because that's the TAWS that I did the best in. I think I lost pretty early on. I ended up getting tied 5th place, but out of anybody there, I won the most number of matches total because I got out pretty early. I had to play my losers bracket matches, and I was playing 2 losers bracket match for every winners bracket match that the other people were playing. I think that was a sizable bracket too. It was like I think that was when it was still in like I think it was like a low to mid 20s ish, something around that. More people than this bracket had. Overshadows. Oh, that's not an STSD. That's a I felt that mistake so much, dude. Able to resolve well enough, though. It actually resolves in a really strong type way, but with that misdrop there, that does give Booyah a chance to make it back here. But Overshadow with a really strong spike, making it 9, now is up 5-2. 5-2 in favor of Overshadow. Now Booyah here, doing quite... And Booyah's not doing bad at all, like, considering what their... I'll click on it again to check what their normal stats are, like, their profile stats are 1.98 APS, or 1.89 pieces a second, and then they were running, like, for 30 seconds there, they were running 2.6. They are playing, like, they're playing like they are a lot better than what their seed actually is. But Overshadow now here, up 6-2, can take it on this point. And if he does, we'll be playing against Dark Shadow in losers semis. It'll be a rematch. Nope, losers finals, which would be a rematch. Oh, and that's high stack, but Booyah's going to be able to get down from it, but not fully, and that's going to be a 2-7 victory for Overshadow, and that's going to be the biggest victory we've had in this whole top 8, because other than that, like, just looking at the matches we've seen in top 8 so far, 7-6, 7-6, 7-6, 7-5, 7-6, 7-4. They've all been, like, really, really close. This has been the biggest victory. And so now it comes to Overshadow versus Dark Shadow. We've got the 2 shadows back at it again. They're back at it again for a rematch in losers finals. Their first match against each other was in losers top 8. Dark Shadow took that 7-6. And Dark Shadow wants to win this so that Dark Shadow can have the rematch against Persimmon in Grand Finals, because Dark Shadow lost Losers Finals to get here. We'll see if they are ready for their warm-up. And they are both ready for warm-up, and we'll get that started right here. We'll see if anybody goes for any sort of different strategy than they did for their match against each other in the winners semis. Dark Shadow here with clear opener goes for 2. Attempts number 3, not going to get it, and is high enough on the board that could have been a strong take from Overshadow if Overshadow had the pressure to be able to do it. But Overshadow doesn't. Overshadow's been spiking hard though, 1:30 APM, and with a misdrop from Dark Shadow, that's going to be the warm-up. Yep, we're going to be going into the match here. The second to last match we got going. After this, all that we've got is winner of this against Persimmon. Overshadow and Dark Shadow both struggling a little bit on their opener. I think I've seen this a couple times where we just kind of seen both people have bits of errors in their warm up. Overshadow now taking that point though. Taking that first point. And that's what Overshadow wants. Overshadow does not want Dark Shadow to have any sort of opportunity. But Dark Shadow getting a PC there. And Overshadow is trying to downstack that, but isn't going to be able to. Dark Shadow takes that. Now it's tied at 1-1. Dark Shadow running their usual Hachi spin here. Well executed as always. And closing it with a 14 spike. And nope, that's not going to get them that. That's going to mess up Dark Shadow's board state a little bit. They're going to have no trouble recovering from it, but could have been a lot of pressure onto Overshadow. Might have been a misdrop from Dark Shadow, but it's not going to call it a misdrop because it very well could have just been what was played there. Had an opportunity to get a quad, but didn't, so I think that would have put Dark Shadow in a better position than they are right now, because Overshadow did get that point, and it is going to be 1-1. Now they are tied here. Oh, Overshadow misdropping that. Oh, that's a brutal misdrop. They give Dark Shadow... But Dark Shadow having a misdrop with that eyepiece, that's also going to be hard for him to recover. Luckily, Overshadow isn't too strong of a position, but they are in a pretty strong position here. They've got a nice stack built up. Not strong enough to pull a game point-winning or a point-winning spike there. But that is a large spike from Overshadow. Now up 3-1. And now Shadow with the misdrop on the TKI there. Now one misdrop isn't going to stop them from doing much. They've both shown very well that they can play through a misdrop well. Overshadow with 140 or 170 APM. And Dark Shadow just downstacking it like it's nothing. Without that 1 or 2 rows too higher, and Dark Shadow would have been able to get down fully from that with those 2 long bars right up in front of that well, and would have sent a lot of garbage to Overshadow. That's a lot of garbage being sent. Overshadow's just running away now. 5-1 against Dark Shadow. And this match went to tiebreaker in winners, remember, so it is a little bit shocking to see that it's such an unbalanced scoreline here. Dark Shadow with a good play here. I don't think that's the way I would have downstacked that, but it still worked what Dark Shadow is doing here. He had a spin there. You can spin that. I guess I'm unsure if Dark Shadow you can spin that. There's an interesting spin you can do when you have the wall built up enough like that. Meanwhile, Overshadow just tucking in that thing without... He couldn't soft drop it because Overshadow has infinite. One that Dark Shadow actually would have played advantage trying to do, since they do use non-infinite soft drop factor. Oh, and that's just not looking like a good of a position for Overshadow here. Okay, Overshadow getting that down. That's an impressive downstack to get. They're well capable though. That's going to be a strong spike. Not even able to finish it up fully once. Now this is already a match point for Dark Shadow. And now Dark Shadow with a misdrop on the Tachi spin, that could be fatal. Especially with how strong Overshadow is and is not playing fast enough to downstack well enough, and that is going to be game. Producing Overshadow into winners. Nope, not winners. The Grands. The Grand Finals. Grand Finals against Persimmon. And here it is. It is Grand Finals time. First to 11. We've got Overshadow, who is a very strong player. Persimmon, who is a very strong player. Overshadow is a 24-4K. Persimmon 24-2 KTR. Both of them incredible stats. And they could do really well. We're going to see now. I'm assuming they'll probably want to warm up. I wouldn't ever want to go into Grand Finals without getting my chance to shake out nerves. But the other hand is first to 11s are longer than they're used to playing, so sometimes you do want to conserve a little bit of energy, but they will be doing a warm-up. And we'll be getting that started here. Here it is. We're seeing a PCO, but not actually PCOing from Persimmon versus Overshadow's something. Oh, that was a great talk from Overshadows. That's a absolutely brilliant talk. And that 16 spike, wow! Overshadow's taking that point. 37-second warm-up. And here it is, Grand Finals. Y'all been waiting for it. It is time. I think this is one where it would not surprise me to see a bracket reset. It would not surprise me to see true finals here. Persimmon Shake on the winner's side, Overshadow on the loser's side. Overshadow needs 2 set wins to take it, but Persimmon will win with just 1. Here it is, Grand Finals, first to 11. Overshadow has a down stack opportunity here, but that's going to be hard to do when Overshadow just piling on the pressure. 3.0 PPS, 141 APM. I don't see, like... That APP is close to 0.7 APP there. Obviously, APP is always going to be a little bit more inflated in the opener, but still, that's hard to overcome. Overshadow now on the receiving end of a lot of pressure, with Persimmons rolling 120 after 15 seconds. And Persimmons struggling to downstack this. Has a T-spin downstack. They're okay, able to recover that well enough to get down. Having the triple there. Wasting a bit of forward. But there we go. Now Overshadow has a very clean access to well, and it's Persimmon who's the one that is struggling and going to top out. Overshadow now has 2 points. Like I said a couple minutes ago, I would not be surprised to see this being the one that goes to a bracket reset. And now Persimmon's going to take 1 point, though. Persimmon up now on the board. Do remember, though, this is a first to 11. Each point does mean slightly less, so... However that influences their strategy. I feel like you can take it both ways and say, each point means less now, so I can be... Whether you want to take it as each point means less, so let's be a little bit less. Because consistency will be what matters in a longer set. Because if the longer the set, the more that a player's consistency is the determining factor. Meanwhile, you can also decently argue it's a longer set. I can afford to lose a couple points to be in risky. If it's going to help my overall play that I'm being more risky, let's play risky. I realize that I did just say... I realized that I did just say, doesn't really matter. But I think it actually, having it be first to 11 can mean a little bit less nerves, because when each singular point is putting your opponent not as closer to victory, you're able to worry a little bit less about each individual point and just focus on having good gameplay instead. But Persimmons are looking good here with some strong spikes. Pulling it up to 2-1. Nope, 2-3. And now Persimmon here rolling a S. That's not SDSD, that's SDPC. There we go. Ooh, that's an ending upstack. I think that's like really rich. I think it's like really greedy, but it works, so I won't question it too much. Meanwhile, Persimmons has probably the cleanest board state you can have for being up as high as they are. And I was just rolling, puts it back, tied it 3-3. And that's a very quick one. 184, 148 APM from Persimmon there. Nope, the Overshadow was the one with 148 APM. And how Overshadow's bringing it up to 5-3. Simmons can always be a little bit more relaxed here because a single loss doesn't mean the end of the world. Overshadow just put on so much pressure here. 180 APM after 13 seconds. It's hard to believe that this is a U-rank tournament with seeing this level of gameplay. These are not your average U-rank players. These are the best. These are the top U-rank. Oh, great recovery from Overshadow on that one. Uh, 3-6. Not game point, though, because this is a first to 11. Now, Overshadow probably wants to get this to a bracket reset with as little X effort as needed. Oh, but that's a bad misdrop. You want to save your energy. Obviously, playing 2 first sets can be long sometimes. Overshadow, bring that back down. Oh, but has another bad T there. And making it just difficult for themselves down. But it is going to get down. And bring their board state pretty much back in neutral. A little high, but able to take out for some 7-3 now. Overshadow just needs 4 more points. But Persimmon needs 8 more to take this step. Going to be a lot of effort for Persimmon to be able to take this. Now, Persimmon, though, obviously only needing the 1 set. This point's probably going to go to Overshadow with how strong that pressure was. But not necessarily, because Persimmon is going to get down from it. Wouldn't want to call it too soon. Persimmon's in a good position. Overshadow's garbage is a little bit worse there. And now 12's take Shadow. And that tops out Persimmon 8-3. Persimmon going for PCO, not going to get there, but does it in a way that their board state's going to stay in a good position. And that's really what you need. That's what you need to have your opener let you stay in a good position towards mid-game. If you have an opener that's strong but doesn't put you in a good mid-game position, I wouldn't ever call that a strong opener because like as soon as you do it, it's like you gotta let yourself get back into the game. If your opener is in a way that if it doesn't go well, you lose. It's not exactly the most optimal type situation. Now Overshadow able to pressure Persimmon to the top again, 9-4. Hard to believe that 9 is coming to the person making it here from the losers bracket. But Dark Shadow did really well to take out Overshadow in the winter semifinals, which is what put Overshadow there. But then Overshadow just kind of rolled through the rest of it. But hey, I meant to be in grand final enough to be there. Persimmon taking another point though, not gonna close out yet. I've seen comebacks of this length before. And the extra motivation for Persimmon here being that they just need to have it happen once. A little bit less pressure coming from that here. This is a strong point from Persimmon so far, 120 APM. A little too early game to call that too impressive yet, though, but only getting a triple there. Disrupt the O piece, that's going to be hard to recover from. Possible, though, showing that they are actually able to do it. Now just needs to get to their I pieces and the T piece to bring that back down, and does so quite well. Now, meanwhile, they're both playing so high. Persimmon's got a lot of messiness to get through, but it gets clean towards the end, so Persimmon just needs to get through the first bit of it. And does so fine. Oh, but that's Dark Shadow, or this is Overshadow. Overshadow gonna pressure that out 10-5. Persimmon needs 6 points here. Overshadow just needs 1 to take it into a true finals. Oh, Persimmon with that misdrop there. That's going to be hard to recover from. Get it? That's not a T-spin. It sets you up for one. But with all these misdrops from Persimmon, it's going to be really hard to recover this board state into a win. And that is going to be a win for Overshadow, pushing it to a bracket reset, 11-5 points. And so they've got one more set to go. Winner takes all. Yeah, Overshadow really showing in that game that yeah, they deserve to be here. They deserve to be in this true finals. And we are gonna see if they are ready for finals. We don't do this too often. Persimmon is ready. I wait on Overshadow to confirm that they are ready as well. And as soon as, yep, okay, Overshadow is confirming that they are ready. So it is true finals time. Neither side with the advantage going into this. Persimmon versus Overshadow. And here it is, true finals. Interesting floating with an ice spin to resolve from Persimmon there. Another first to 11 set. The winner of this is the winner of the tournament. Oh, and this is just a strong stack from Overshadow. 9-0, which isn't the most optimal, but it can... 9-0 works. It's not a bad stacking strategy. Obviously, you don't rely on it. You don't get to high U rank by relying on 9-0. 9-0... 9-0 is good, especially when you have back-to-back. Like, that's one of the times where if you're on a back-to-back ×8 and you're sending 7 lines per quad, you can just roll 9-0 sometimes and just have it be worth it, because your opponent can be doing these sorts of crazy T-spins, but 9-0 is going to be faster than setting up T-spins, and you're getting less lines, you're getting less piece lines sent per line or piece you place, but at back-to-back ×8, you're just sending so much extra, because you're sending 3 extra per attack, that hardly matters anymore. And then if you manage to get to back-to-back by 24, which is the next level, which doesn't happen very often, but it's happened. I've seen it happen a couple times. I don't think I've ever seen it happen at TAWS, though. I think it'd be a first for me at TAWS. Oh, and Persimmon's is unloading a lot of pressure here. Canceling back-to-back for that down stack, but again, probably the right decision there. And Persimmon now here, that's a strong play. Overshadow's really high. gets down a bit, but has a lot of cheese to make it through too if they want to get back to a good board state. And it looks like they're not going to be able to. That tax too much. Going to bring it back tied to 1-1. Tied at an even point. 10 points left for each player. Max of 19 games left. Or 19 points left. I shouldn't say games. 19 games would be a lot of games. And Overshadow taking that now up 2-1. Persimmons already lost their chance with the with having the advantage of being on the winner side, so doesn't want to lose too many, because was able to have a little bit less nerves in the first set, knowing that okay, you've got another chance to bring it back after losing the first set. But now it's real. It's true finals. Tied 2-2. Oh, and that's going to be a DPC from, or SDPC from Persimmon. Gets the DPC, gets one line of garbage, but not going to matter, because the damage from that's going to be way too high for Overshadow to clear, finishing that with 160 APM from that set on Persimmon's side. Oh, and okay, yeah, there we go. Persimmon now with another PC. I think that was MS2. I don't remember. I don't know all those. I don't remember all the C-spin type openers names too well. Whatever it was, it worked. It's almost what matters most. Persimmon's doing really well here. Like last set was Overshadow's, proving that yeah, they deserve to be in these finals. Now these points are proving that Persimmon deserves just the same. Oh, with that misdrop though, I think Persimmon had a down stack. If there wasn't a misdrop there, probably wouldn't have been able to get down fast enough to avoid Overshadow's next spike, but still, I think I would have had a down stack. I don't think it's over for that yet. Now, both of them getting a PC, but Persimmon realizes that their PC isn't going to be worth as much, so instead decides to take the garbage and gets this brilliant down stack. We're not, okay, stacking for that T-spin, but doesn't have the T for a while. Oh, and they are just stacking that so high, perked. But it's not going to keep working. And now it is tied up at 4-4. 7 points left for each player. Both of them have done so well at this point, just to show that they deserve to be in these finals. Either player taking the win here would be extremely well deserved. Overshadow with another 1 APP, 160 APM, 2.5 pieces a second. Extremely strong gameplay. Both running TK this opener. Persimmon's gonna cancel. Decision to cancel there. Sending 3. That's good for Persimmon because 3 isn't 4. Breaking news: 3 isn't 4. I bet nobody knew that before. But not sending 4 is the best, because when you send a lot of 4 lines, that's when your opponents get really good counter spikes, and you don't want to see yourself sending 4 too often. Because sending 4 and even sending 5, that's when you're starting to that's when you start to see yourself getting counter spiked. You want to have enough cheese in your mix for your down spikes, because that'll be what prevents your opponents from being able to counter spike everything you send. Persimmon with a stick spin. I think this is the first 6-spin I've seen today. I've seen SDPC before, but I haven't seen stick spin yet. Now Persimmon's not going to do that proper, and trouble getting down. The board state's not going to be the best. Is going to be able to find their down stack though. Good for 5 lines sent. But most importantly, more than that, lines being sent is them getting back down from it, because that was a very possible situation where they would not have been able to get down from. It's one where if you had to ask me, I didn't think they were going to get down. Ooh, that mishold for Persimmon's going to be bad. I think Persimmon had a pretty good combo potential there. Good choice covering up the well to hold that combo a little bit longer. I think that was the right choice. A lot of times it's not the right choice to hold the combo and sacrifice your board state for it, but I think Persimmon had the right choice there. But that O block's going to be pretty brutal, and it's going to cause the top out, and Overshadow now going to be up a 6-5. Overshadow just needs 5 more points to be the TAWS the TAWS U24 winner. Now for Simmons getting first PC, Overshadow covering up the well, but able to get uncovered quickly, and now has their well open. Gonna have to get their board even back out to be able to send a T-spin. Does that well. Gonna try to even it out again for another T-spin, but not gonna be worth it for the T-spin, not gonna have enough time to get that. Now stacked really high, able to get back down to a comfortable level. But Persimmon still has a few strong stacks. Persimmon's going to have a little bit of garbage to get through right there. And I don't think it's going to get back down from that. And that's going to put Overshadow's up 7-5. Overshadow now needing just 4 points to Persimmon's 6 needed to take this true finals. Now, Persimmon's playing fundamentally well there. That's not going to be very well from Overshadow though. But Overshadow getting back to back-to-back times 8 has the overhang for the STSD, but might be too late. Not going to be too late. Going to be too late to do too much major damage to Persimmons, but going to have to be able to do enough that. And yeah, that's going to be the point. 5-8. Now Overshadow just needing 3 left, and it's starting to become a bit of a lead. And Persimmons having misdropped. Oh, I guess they both misdropped an opener. But that's probably not exactly the opposite of what you want to see. Starting to lose a few points, starting to allow a lead against yourself, and then proceeding to misdrop an opener. That's probably the exact opposite of what you'd want to have happen. Now Persimmon's gonna hold on. Oh, that's a really gutsy move there. And Persimmon now is gonna get 2 T-spins. That'll keep them in the game. It'll stack up another one. Has a quad into T-spin that'll just leave him there. Now Overshadow now at 109 APM. Again, playing just so strongly, so powerfully. And Persimmon is looking for anything that they can find. Anything that they can find to turn this match around. They need to figure out what's not working for them so that they can change that. Able to get down from this well. Now, but Overshadow's up to back by 9. Gonna be 10 here. Can't back-to-back there. Now gonna try building that right back up, though. Overshadow now at 41 seconds. Overshadow's holding 130 APM. And that level of APM is too strong. Overshadow on match point of true finals. Overshadow came from losers finals, lost in a TAWS breaker in their semifinals. Otherwise, have been very commanding in their gameplay this entire tournament. And Persimmon's looking to be too high. Has a good well. but needs to go down, and the rate that they're going to get those long bars to go down from not at doing 9-0 is not going to be enough. They need to go down faster than what they can get for long bars. They need to start pushing Overshadow up. Now, 9-0, if you're playing against an opponent not sending too much pressure, you can use 9-0 and just not worry about doing anything other than that to clear lines. But for somebody who is sending in their games 130 APM as if it's almost nothing, that same strategy isn't going to work because you're just getting pushed higher and higher. Everson got themselves into a good position, though. Looks to be struggling a little bit, though. It's like they feel like it looks like their speed just doesn't feel normal to what they're normally doing. Having a Kaidan, that's a perfect one now. Good for a 20 spike. And able to pull that point. Persimmons needs 5 points here. Overshadows just needs 1. Now we're going to see an SDPC versus Stick Spin. But Persimmon's going to misdrop Stick Spin. Gets the well open, good for a 15 spike. Could have been a bit more if Persimmon decided to play that spike out a little further. But didn't. Instead, still keeping a strong position on the board. But that spike had a down stack possible, but not hitting that down stack, and Overshadow winning true finals, winning TAWS U with the finals, with a scoring 11-6 points in the finals. Taking home TAWS U24. Overshadow's run 7-0 wins in winners in the winners round of 16 and round of 8. A 7-6 loss in winners semis against Dark Shadow to put them into the losers bracket in the top 6 side. 7-6 against Wessel, 7-2 against Booyah, 7-1 against Dark Shadow to have redemption over that winners finals match, and then wins of 11-5 and 11-6 to take home the finals. Congratulations to Overshadow on that.
Cool. Well, I think we go straight into Raid because my connection to Kex Computer is bad, so it would take forever to try and do the raffles. So we'll have to do the raffle on the stream.
We got TAWS Americas tomorrow, so I'll run that during that.
Oh, hold on.
What's up?
So I was just checking. We've got a raid. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna raid now. We're just coming into a. Oh, okay. We're gonna raid Gladon. Gladon is just playing a sub 20 40 lines player in Tetra League, I think.
Oh.
Gladon is higher TR than them. Gladon's 24.8k, which is kind of crazy.
Gladon's 24.8. Oh my gosh.
Trying to push for 24.9, but yeah. So yeah, we're going to make Gladon. Thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, thanks for putting up with the stream being a bit more bare bones than usual. But yeah, thanks so much, Willie J, for just doing so much for the stream.
I think this is my first time commentating a whole event.
Yeah, well done for getting through that and for doing all the league stuff. I've been updating the league spreadsheet in the background, so we can chat about that afterwards. But yeah, yeah, so much stuff that you're doing for us, so thank you very much. Yeah, we don't pay anyone, so I'm just like, all I can do is say thank you shots. But yeah, okay, so yeah, we're gonna go Ray Gladon. He's a Pro Tours commentator. And we've got more tournaments this weekend, so just join our Discord if you want to take part of those. So, including To The Limit, which is a very special tournament. So
it
with
is.
A prize pool of over $200, which is crazy. So yeah, do join that, and yeah, see you later. Cool. I pressed the raid button, so now I need to stop streaming.
Yeah.
And I've lost connection again.
Nice.